If you liked thrillers like Sicario, No Country for Old Men, Mystic River, Zodiac, or series like Yellowstone or True Detective, I got you. Wind River is a neo-western, slow-burn mystery with serious true crime vibes starring Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. It has a 90% audience score on Rotten Tomatoes, and you should check it out. Let me tell you why.
Holster your weapon.
You didn't see it?
Now or you're under arrest. You understand me?
You didn't see it.
Wind River follows the story of an FBI agent and a U.S. Wildlife Service tracker as they investigate the mysterious death of a young woman on a Native American reservation in Wyoming. With killer action scenes and world-class dialogue, it's a crime that this movie went largely unnoticed, but I think I know why.
You driving this vet around so she don't get lost, is that it?
That's what they asked me to do. It's not what I'm doing.
Then what are you doing?
I'm a hunter, Martin. What do you think I'm doing?
The film deals heavily with themes of grief, apathy, the trials of parenthood, and the ways that we will often abuse ourselves when our environment is devoid of opportunity. It also isn't shy about shedding light on some of the harsh realities that exist for Native communities in the U.S., unflinching in its portrayal of the way that the government has failed them. Let's talk about what makes this film great. First, we should talk about the writer and director behind Wind River, Taylor Sheridan. If he looks familiar, it's because he's been acting in Hollywood for almost 30 years. However, in the past decade, he's tried his hand at writing, and we should all be thankful that he did. He's the creator behind the Sicario films, Hell or High Water, and his greatest recent success, a little series called Yellowstone. Sheridan is, in my opinion, a deeply empathetic writer. His narratives consider the perspectives of people who exist on the margins of society and those who have been failed by the systems that they place trust in. His stories are able to portray a variety of different people, some of whom do bad things, but he often reserves judgment, showing the environmental factors that shaped his characters. Sheridan's films, Sicario in particular, have been widely praised for the style of action scenes while still maintaining extreme accuracy. Wind River follows this trend. The gun battles in this movie are tense and violent in a way that feels more honest than standard fare. The film even goes out of its way to show the differences in the way that an FBI agent, wildlife tracker, and police would use their firearms differently. Look at how the police officers keep their fingers outside of the trigger guard, while Elizabeth Olsen's finger is on the trigger. These are key directorial choices that will only matter to a small amount of viewers, but Sheridan includes them anyway. As I've mentioned, the dialogue in this film is also incredibly strong. There's so many great lines in this film, something that's difficult to do eloquently when so much of the film centers around what it's like to lose a child. I think that if this movie had become more popular, it would have been thought of as quotable in the same way that the first season of True Detective is.
Think this is who I wanted to be? Man, I get so mad. I want to fight the whole world. You got any idea what that feels like?
I do. But I decided to fight the feeling instead. Because I figured the world would win.
I believe that one of the things that makes Wind River so affecting is also the element that ultimately kept it from being truly successful. Its unyielding stance on how we as a society need to do better by the indigenous women of the U.S. I'm not spoiling the movie by telling you that the woman who dies in the beginning of the film doesn't miraculously come back to life. There are no truly happy endings to be found here, and the final message of the story is plainly stated by the text that appears on the screen before the credits. I think, particularly in 2017, the abuse of women on reservations wasn't something that movie-going audiences wanted to think about. Add to that the casting of two white actors in lead roles in a movie that is entirely about Native Americans, and I can see why more than a few people may not have wanted to see it. That said, the movie is based on real crimes that are committed with unfortunate regularity, and this film calls attention to that fact. Overall, I think Wind River deserves to be considered among the rural action thriller greats of the 21st century, and if you're on the hunt for something of that style to catch on Netflix, it's worth it. Now, if you're on the hunt for more movie recommendations, hit that subscribe button and come back here after you've seen Wind River to tell me if I pointed you down the right path. Hey, since you're still here, why don't you leave a comment telling me what movies I need to watch next?